All right, what's up, guys? Be our weekly assignment. Um, gonna go through this video now. This is gonna be some review stuff, so um, some of it you hopefully remember. Um, and then what we're gonna be doing with this is we're gonna take this information the next step and apply it to geometric figures. Okay, but I want to make sure that this week our goal is to make sure we remember how to do this stuff. That way we can go ahead and apply it. So I need y'all to take a piece of paper out for your notes. So if you need to pause the video while you get that stuff ready to go, that would be fabulous. All right. Now we're going to talk quickly about exponents. The main one that we're going to see is just a multiplication property of exponents. So the general rule, okay, for these, if you multiply same bases, you get to add exponents. That's the general rule. Now, what we have to remember is 2 and 4 are just regular numbers. So in this first one, 2a to the third b squared times 4ab squared. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? 2 times 4 is 2 times 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. Now, with the a's, I have a to the third and I have a to the first. Okay? The second one here, that is a to the first. So these a's are multiplied. I'm allowed to add the exponents. So 3 plus 1 is going to be 4. With the b's, we have b squared times b squared, multiplying the b's. So I'm going to add those exponents. 2 plus 2 is 4. And that's it. If you guys want to go ahead and pause the video and try the second one. All right, for this one, 3 times 3 is 9. For the x's, we have x to the third times x to the third. So we're going to add those exponents. 3 plus 3 is 6. And with the y's, we have y squared times y to the first. Going to add those exponents. 2 plus 1 is 3. And we're going to see that show up in some of the problems that we have. Okay. Now, the first one that we want to review, okay, when it comes to polynomials, is addition of polynomials. Now, one of the common errors is we misapply our exponent rules with addition problems. So on this one, you always gotta pay attention and look. Sorry, I should have said this. Write this problem down. But I always check in front of the parentheses. In front of this first parentheses is a 1, so I'm good. Second parentheses is a positive 1, I'm good. So I can just go ahead and add up my like terms. So I got my y squareds. 7y squared plus 5y squared. 7 plus 5 is 12. So I have 12y squared. My y's. You have 2y and negative 4y. Remember, you've got to pay attention and remember that that's a negative there. So 2 plus negative 4 is negative 2y. Those are gone. And then we have our constants, negative 3 and 2. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Okay. Let's also look at a subtraction problem. There's only one slight change if we remember for subtraction. Okay. And the first trinomial here, there's a 1 in front, so that's good to go. Don't need to do anything to it. Okay. But the second one has a negative 1 in front. And if it has anything besides positive 1 in front, we have to distribute that. So I'm going to multiply all 3 of these by negative 1. And that's going to make this first one negative 9y to the fourth. The second one, negative times a negative, makes that a positive 7y. And the last one, negative 1 times 2y squared, makes that a negative 2y squared. Then I can go ahead and add up my like terms. Now, you do want to start with the biggest one, and this one's in a little different order. Okay, so I want to pay attention to that. So my y to the fourth, I'm going to put first. 8 plus negative 9 is negative 1. Okay. My y squareds, 6 plus negative 2 is positive 4. And then with my y's, negative 5y plus 7y is positive 2y. And that's it. Okay. All right. What I want you guys to do is go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to take care of these two problems. All right. The first one, we're good to start combining like terms because there's no distributing required. R to the fourth, so we got negative 1 plus 2. That's negative 1 r to the fourth. The next one I should have is this r to the third. I know it's sitting over here in the second one, but I do have to pay attention to that. So that's negative 8 r to the third. Then my r squareds, 1r squared and negative 4r squared. So it'd be negative 3r squared. And then I can't forget about this negative 5r. Drop it like it's hot. And there's my answer. Number 4 here, we do have to distribute. So I got to distribute that negative 1. And that's going to give me negative 7n, negative 8n to the third, and positive 3. And I combine my like terms now. I need my n to the thirds first. So negative 7 plus negative 8 is negative 15, n to the third. My n's, 2n plus negative 7n is negative 5n. And my constants, 3 plus 3 is 6. All right, the next part that's going in our notes is multiplication. Okay, and specifically we're going to be looking at the distributive property. Now, it's when we start to deal with multiplication, we have to remember that rule. When I multiply same bases, I need to add exponents. So for this particular one, I have 6y times 4y squared. 6 times 4 is 24. And I have to remember, I have y to the first times y squared. I have y to the first times y squared. Remember, I got to add those exponents. This is y to the third. 6 times negative 9y, 6y times negative 9y. 6 times negative 9 is negative 54. Y to the first times y to the first. Don't forget to add your exponents. That's y squared. And then 6y times negative 7 is negative 42y. Now the next type for review is combining the distributive property with addition or combining like terms. So first thing you want to take care of is distribute first. So I'm going to distribute this one. So this has a 3 in front. So 3 times 2t squared is 6t squared. 3 times negative 4t is negative 12t. And 3 times negative 15 is negative 45. Now I'm going to work on the second one. Now you do have to pay attention here, whether that's positive or negative. It's really important. We have 6t times 5t. 6 times 5 is 30. Remember, t times t to the first times t to the first. I have to add those exponents. That becomes t squared. 6t times 2 is positive 12t. And then we add up our like terms. 6t squared plus 30t squared is 36t squared. Negative 12t plus 12t, those add up to 0, so they are just gone. And then drop it like it's hot. I want you guys to pause the video, and I want you to take care of these two problems. Okay, for number 5, we're distributing 7n times 4n squared is 28n to the third. Don't forget when you multiply n's to add the exponents. 7n times 6n is positive 42n squared. Again, when you multiply the n's, don't forget to add the exponents. And 7n times 6 is positive 42n. On the second one, got to distribute here. So 2x squared times 3x to the fourth That'd be 6x to the 6. Don't forget to add the exponents when you multiply the x's. 2x squared times 7x squared is positive 14x to the 4th. Now the second one, be careful because that is a negative there. So we got negative 5x times 3x squared. That'd be negative 15x to the 3rd. Again, when we multiply x's, we add the exponents. Negative 5x times 4x to the 4th is negative 20x to the 5th. And then negative 5x times negative 2x to the 3rd would be positive 10x to the 4th. Then we got to make sure we combine our like terms, put these in the right order. So x to the 6, it's the only one. Then we have our x to the 5th. That's our only one, so drop it like it's hot. We have our x to the 4th, and we have 2 of those, so we're going to combine those. And again, I have to remember, now I'm adding, leave the exponent alone. So plus 24x to the 4th, and then drop it like it's hot, minus 15x to the 3rd. Okay. The last type of problem is when we're multiplying polynomials. And there's a couple different methods that you can use in order to multiply these. I'm going to show this particular one using the box, okay? And I will go back then and show you the alternate method. So for this particular one, I notice I have 2 things multiplied to 2 things, okay? So I'm going to make a 2x2 box. On the side, remember, hopefully you remember doing this last year, you're going to put one of your binomials. On the top, you're going to put the other binomial. And what this does is it helps you, the box helps you organize the different distribution property problems that you have to do for this. So for the first one, we're taking the 5x, and we're multiplying it to both of them. So 5x times 2x is 10x squared. And then 5x times 8 is 40x. Now we're going to take the negative 4, and we're going to multiply it. So, you're going to distribute those. Okay? So negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x, and negative 4 times 8 is negative 32. And then I have to make sure I combine my like terms. So I got my x squared. Now these x's are like terms. I'm going to add them up. Negative 8x plus 40x is positive 32x. Then we have minus 32. And that'd be our answer. Let's do one more. It's a little bit bigger. Okay. Oh, I apologize, guys. The alternate way would essentially be, and I kind of showed it there as I was explaining. The alternate way, besides using the box, is you're essentially going to do the same thing, but you'll start with the 5x, and you're just going to distribute. So it's going to look a little different, but it's okay. I'd go 5x times 2x, 10x squared, plus 40x, and then we're taking the negative 4 the second time through, and we're distributing. So you'd have your negative 8x and your negative 32. You're still going to arrive at this answer because we're going to combine those x's. The box I prefer because it organizes the information. It makes it a little more obvious what your multiplications are, but either way is fine. Let's do one more. This one is a binomial times a trinomial. So I have 2 things multiplied to 3 things. So using a box, I would use just a slightly bigger box. Okay. I need a side with 2, and I need a side with 3. So on the side with 2, put your binomial, 3a plus 4. On the side with 3, put your trinomial. and then we're going to do our multiplications. So the first time we're working with the 3a, essentially working with the 3a, and you're multiplying it to all three. So 3a to the first times a squared, it's 3a to the third. 3a to the first times negative 12a to the first, it'd be negative 36a squared. And then 3 to the first times 1 is 3a. Now I'm going to work with the 4. So we work with the 4 second, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to essentially distribute that. So 4 times a squared is 4a squared. 4 times negative 12a is negative 48a. And 4 times 1 is 4. And then we're going to add up our like terms. So I have 3a to the third. And I have these a squareds here. 4 plus negative 36, that would be negative 32a squareds. And then I also have these a's, negative 48a plus 3a, would be negative 45a plus 4. That'd be my answer. Let's go ahead and try a couple. If you would go ahead and pause the video and complete these two problems. All right, number 7 needs a 2x2 box. I'm going to put 3p minus 1 there, 8p minus 2 there, and I'm going to do my multiplications. 3p times 8p is 24p squared. You got to remember when you multiply p's to add the exponents. 3p times negative 2 is negative 6p. Now I'm working down to the bottom. Negative 1 times 8p is negative 8p. And negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. Add up my like terms. Got 24p squared. My p's get added. Negative 8p plus negative 6p is negative 14p plus 2. For number 8, I would need a 2x3 box if I'm using the box. My binomial, 3b plus 7 goes on the side. And my trinomial, 7b squared minus 4b plus 2 goes on the top. So that's going to be 21b to the third. 3b times negative 4b would be negative 12b squared. And 3b times 2 is 6b. Go to the bottom. 7 times 7b is 49. B squared. Sorry, I said 7 times 7b squared would be 49b squared. 7 times negative 4b is negative 28b. And 7 times 2 is 14. Then we're going to add up our like terms. So I got 21b to the third. The b squareds are going to get added. So it's going to be positive 37b squared. The b's are going to get added. That's going to be negative 22b and plus 14. Okay. So that's the end of the lesson for today. What you guys have left to do then for the rest of the week is you have a worksheet on Kami. Let's go ahead and make sure that you do that worksheet. And then go ahead and make sure you click the turn in button on Google Classroom so that I know that you are finished. Okay. Until I see that turn in button, I won't know that you're finished. And I won't be able to check your work and give you your points for getting that done. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. And again, we'll start applying this to geometric figures next week. All right. You guys have a great week and stay safe. Bye.